All right. Three, two, one. What's up, George? What's going on in the House of Craze tonight?
In the house, Grace, tonight we have a repeat guest. Mr. Brandon Ingram is going to be talking to us about Tales from Town City. We're also going to be talking about AI. AI
Yeah,
coming up. We're going to be talking about it.
let's get it.
We are the only show for independents all around, giving you a platform to spread your word all over town. Catch the Craze is the place to promote to your fans with the dream of Medina and Sam the Crazy Man. Subscribe to our show and never miss an episode. It's time to get your meds, listen to us on the go. Updated every week, we never miss a day. Join the squad, come on in. It's time to catch the Craze. If you are an independent, catch the Craze. Making moves on your own, catch the Craze. On your grind in the streets, catch the Craze. Join the movement, catch the Craze.
Yeah, George, we did it again. Come on now. You know you want to do it. Catch the craze.
Welcome to Catch the Craze podcast. I'm your host with the most, Sam, the Crazy Man, Vera, and I am with.
George, the Dreamer Medina. What's happening, everyone? Welcome to another exciting episode of Catch the Craze. We are live tonight. It is Tuesday, October 3rd. We are on our regular evening. They're spoiling us 2 nights in a row.
Yes.
We are back with another live episode. If you haven't done so yet, please subscribe to the channel.
Word.
Give us a like if you're in the comments. Give us a like.
Word.
Share the video out to everyone. If you want to know when we're going to be live, just hit that notification bell. It'll tell
Word.
you when we are going to be live. Tonight, we are going to be talking to an artist, a creator, a writer, who's been on the show a few times. I believe this is his fourth appearance on Catch the Craze. 2 years ago, we met him. Yeah, we met him 2 years ago. Episode 273 was his debut, I guess, on the channel. Then he came back again a year ago, episode 428. Look how we moved so fast. Then he was here for episode 466, and tonight he's back once again.
You doing your homework, at least one of us is.
Again.
Damn.
Yeah. Hey, man.
Someone has to.
Very, very, very excited to see Mr. Brandon Ingram back on the show. So it's going to be a good time tonight. He's got a new book that is out. His Kickstarter is almost over, man. That thing is
41 hours to go.
That's right.
You know,
That's right.
he slaughtered it, killed it, slammed it, dunked
Killing
it.
it.
The whole
Killing
bit.
it. Yes. And then in a little bit, we're going to be talking about AI contraband, and I will explain contraband to you all. I know Mr. Michael Sammartino. I see him in the chat.
Acting up.
He's very excited about the topic for the day. But yeah, brother. So let's recap a little bit. We were live last night. What happened last night, Sam? Tell us what happened.
What happened? Duty happened, bro. The Dudarius Uranius. We kicked off the Kickstarter for There's an Alien in My Toilet last night. We had the launch party. We were funded in the first hour, which is fantastic. But you know, I want to give away 2 shirts, man. I want to give away 2 shirts. We are 4 backers away. And if we get those 4 backers by 8:15 tonight, or you know what, I'm gonna extend it to the end of the show. By the time we end this show, if we get those 4 backers, I will raffle off those 2 graphic tees. And you're like, yo, Sam, what are you talking about? Graphic tees? I'm talking about these right here. Bam! Look at that. Look at that. Not even available on my store. I wasn't going to release these shirts till next year, but I was like, you know what? I want to entice the backers, right? So if we get 25 backers, that means we need 4 more within the next 45 minutes. 2 people will be drawn to win one of these shirts. So I'm excited about that. There's so much to offer. And don't forget, we got the 48-hour bundle, bro. It's a steal. Right. It's like Remington steal, right? 48-hour bundle. Look what you get, man, for $30. You get all 3 covers, even the Back from Uranus cover, which is the homage to Back to the Future. Plus, you get the 2 prints all for savings. I mean, you save $15 and you get it for $30. And so that ends tomorrow night this time. So take advantage of that bundle. I don't know why this is spinning. I can't get out of that. There it is. All right. Take advantage of that bundle, but most importantly, I was looking at the analytics. Well, two things Kickstarter did. They gave us a whole new set of analytics, which is in beta mode, but they also removed that feature from your app. So all you can see is Kickstarters. You don't get all of the behind the scenes stuff that you used to get on the app anymore. They removed it. I don't understand that. Hey, that's the matter of you. What if I'm on the go? I want to see it.
Yeah, the app, I think it's more for people who pledge and not the people who set up the at least that's the way it seems to be, engineered. It's more for
that's no bueno. It's no bueno.
Yeah.
But so I was like, I went on it.
money.
It was like this feature will be gone within the next 5 minutes, and it just vanished. I was like, wow. It was like magic.
Yeah.
But yeah. So there's name my toilet. We launched it yesterday. Thank you everybody for coming in. But that was what I was telling you about. I was looking at the analytics, and 19 of the backers were repeats from the previous campaigns, all from different parts. Some of them didn't even come back for like issue 5 or whatever, but they were all return backers from the series, which is so thank you for coming back and sticking with me throughout this process. And so we got 29 more days to go. We got 45 minutes to go to get 5 backers to get your names into a raffle, and I'll do it tonight live on this show and find out who won those shirts. But there's a lot to offer, but I really, really want you guys to read the book. And all I ask is if you back the campaign, please make sure you let the world know that you backed it and help spread love out there. And everybody else who posted yesterday, thank you so much. I appreciate it. And then this weekend, I got the Arlington Comic Fest. It's the last convention for me for the year. I'll be hanging out with Paulie Giggles at the Arlington Comic Fest. And, it's the last one. And then I'm taking the rest of the season off. My next convention won't be till I think February. And so I'm just taking that off, and that's it. And so it's really the next 30 days just promoting the campaign and trying to get more readership, and that's it. So what's going on in your world? I know you're going to New York Comic Con soon.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. So next week, starting on Tuesday, obviously we're back. I think we have another show. I don't know if you're away, but I think we're back here next Tuesday.
Yes, we are.
But on Monday, I think the 9th is Monday. Next Monday is the launch of my new channel. Get Your Meds channel launches on Monday. Art of Comic Writing will be the first show that I will be launching. And Mr. Hades of ASAP Imagination will be on the show. We're going to be talking about writing.
Word.
So that's happening on Monday, the 9th. So make sure it's here. It's here. The launch.
What's up, Joey? Into his house.
Gilbert Rodriguez. Yes. What's going on, my brother? So that's happening next Monday. And then on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, you can find me at the New York Comic Con because I will be there with Mr. Johnny C. Mr. Johnny C and I will be at the show. What up, Hades? And we're going to be at booth 2040. I will have my Wonder Duck book there. I won't have the second graphic novel yet. I'm hoping to have that by next year. But I will have copies of the first graphic novel. And I'm also going to have a bunch of prints. I'm going to have a spinning wheel so people can come in there and spin it.
Spin me round and round.
A good time. We're going to have some fun. Oh, yeah, Gil, stop by, brother.
We're going to have me some fun. Have me some fun.
Yeah, I'm going to be raffling off. Not raffling off. You can win it in the spinner. I'm going to have the first 6 issues of Rust that I printed out last year. No, 2 years ago. We were supposed to do, 4 years ago, before the pandemic. We were supposed to go to East Coast Comic Con, and we never made it out there because of the pandemic. It was supposed to be in May of 2020. We were supposed to do a show. And so I printed a bunch of books because it was Russ's 21st birthday. So I printed out, a few copies of issue number 1, 2, 3 through 1 through 6 individual copies. I only have 3 left of those. And so I'm going to be giving those away. So come by, spin the wheel, and see if you can get those. So that's happening, man, next weekend. So make sure if you are at the Comic-Con, Gil, I'll see you there. I know a few people are coming. So come by booth 2040. We're going to be having a good time. And man. And then what else? I got a few books coming out I'm working on. I'm working with ASAP Imagination. Big shout out to Hades. I'm writing a book called Dead of Night. Okay, we'll do that one. You can get Russ 5377 digitally on the Anyone World platform. That is out now. Issue number 5 comes out this month on the 25th. So pick that up. But I'm also going to be working with Hades. I'm writing issue number 2 of Dead of Night, and we started getting some pages in, man. That artwork looks off the hook. Nice. So I can't wait to start sharing that stuff with you. But yeah, man, it's going to be a busy end of the year, man. It's going to be a busy end of the year. So
yeah, exactly. And then a shout out to a Kid in the Comic. I keep on forgetting.
Yeah, I forget that.
It's like, yo, Duty is published by a Kid in the Comic as a comic strip in a newspaper. That's it's always been my dream to have a comic strip. And so Duty is published, so you can get Duty as well. And basically it follows the same sequence as the comic book, but in a comic strip format. And it's every month. It's 7 papers a year. You can go to kidinthecomic.com and have it shipped to your house each month, or you can go to your local comic book store or bookstore and ask them to carry it, and they'll reach out to them and give them a Kid in the Comic website and go there. But again, if you're watching this, if you're new to the channel, I am your host with the most, Sam the Crazy Man Vera. I am also an independent comic book creator, and I have a Kickstarter that's going on right now for There's Nail in My Toilet, issue number 6. If you got the first 5 issues, you don't want to miss issue number 6. Take advantage of the 48-hour bundle, which ends tomorrow night. Or if you haven't pledged, if we get to 25 backers by the end of this show, I will be raffling off 2 graphic tees. I want to say that again, which is the Samurai Duty graphic tees. And so, yeah, we got till the end of the show to get 4 more backers in there to get to be able to raffle that off. So lots going on during Duty.
Now, one more thing before we move on to the topic or whatever we're going to do next, but also at the comic book convention, I'm also going to have issues number 1 of Catch the Crazies.
What?
Catch the Crazy. You mentioned the Crazy Man Vera, and I remembered that Catch the Crazies issue number 1. If you never got it, if you weren't able to, we did Kickstarters for this way back, like a few years ago. And we did 3. So issue number 1 is available, will be available. You can pick one up from me at the table on the weekend, next weekend, the 12th through the 15th. So come by booth 2040. We're also going to have that. ASAP Imagination. I'm also going to have some stock of that. So I'm going to have a lot of stuff at the table for you guys to pick up.
And if you don't remember what Catch the Crazies is, I'm just going to have to do it.
Podcasters make a deal to make their show number 1. They'll need the help of something supernatural. Be careful what you wish for, lest it come true. Catch the Crazies.
Dude, don't you get goosebumps when you see that? Yo,
Catch the Crazies.
That was
man. That was gonna be dude. We rocked that out 3 issues straight, bro. Bam, 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 bam. We actually have issue number 4 written, but unfortunately, you know,
it'll come back. It'll be we'll get that 4th done, but yeah, that's gotta be. We gotta make that like a monumental event when we do that issue 4.
Yeah.
Hey, Royals Code Pollos. Yeah.
What up, Aníbal?
That's the crazy. But yeah, so Catch the Crazy will be available. It's about these 2 knuckleheads and our plight in comics with a little fanciful twist to it, a supernatural element. So it's gonna be pretty cool.
Yeah. If you ever wondered how did you guys wait? You guys had a podcast and came back. This is the story about how that happened. Hey, what's up, Hannah? This is the story about how that happened. So check it out. Oh, one more thing to announce before I forget. The latest episode of Shoot the Ish with my man Hades is available right now on ASAP Imagination. So check that out. We are talking 80s cartoons. We're going to shoot the ish about 80s cartoons.
Hurricane here in Duckburg. Race cars, lasers, airplanes. It's a Duckburg. I might solve a mystery or rewrite history. DuckTales. Was that a shimmy? Was that a shimmy?
That's what we're gonna do the whole thing, bro. What happened? You pulled out?
Hey, you just seemed like you were in an element.
I was in it.
I remember Catch Kickstarter coming out about 2. Yeah, man.
Yes, Brandon
Yeah,
remembers. He knows. He knows.
that's the crazies, bro.
Yeah, man. So that's gonna be at the show. I'm excited about that. Bringing issue number 1 back for those who missed it and maybe never got a chance to do the Kickstarter. They didn't even know it was around. Pick up issue number 1. Then issues 2 and 3 are available on the website on dutiesworld.com. I believe issues 2 and 3 are there, as well as the compiled graphic novel that we did.
I have the power.
Hannah, you have a little secret, I think, that you've never told us. Or maybe she did. Hannah Strauss has been on our show also.
Yes.
So big shout out to her. We're going to have you back on soon. But Sammy, and don't forget, let's get dangerous.
Yes.
Yeah, little Darkwing Duck action.
Darkwing Duck, yes.
All right. So without further ado, why don't we give the people a little medicine, Sam? What do you think?
Oh man, I think that's illegal, but I'm gonna do it anyway.
Do it.
It's time for your medicine.
Contra.
Contrabando. All right. Contraband. Let's talk about that first. What is contraband? In this case, and I got to give a shout out to my man, Victor Claudio.
Victor Claudio
who coined the term contraband when it came to bringing in things from Marvel or DC to your table when you're trying to sell your own indie work. If you have a print of Superman, Batman, whatever on your table selling it, and you're basically creating competition for yourself while you're selling your own independent books, that is contraband. It should not be on your table. It should not be there. And therefore, he coined the term contraband. That's contraband. AI, we all know what AI is, right? Artificial intelligence, obviously. And now we're seeing it more and more in our space, right? So today, because we're going to be talking about this, I decided I was going to, put a prompt into an AI program that is free, that you can download. It's an app you can download. It's free. And so I decided to put in a prompt. The prompt that I put in for the image that you guys saw, and I think, I don't know, Sam, if you have the other one, the one without the graphics on it.
No.
But the prompt that I put in there, and it's the Superman that you guys saw, I put Christopher Reeve flying through the air as Superman in Jim Lee art. Okay, right. That was the prompt. And then boom, what you saw in the thumbnail is what popped up. Right?
Yeah.
There it is. That came up. Look how beautifully rendered that image is until you notice the hand. And I think that's been the dead giveaway. Also, if you notice his hairline is a little off.
He has more like an alpha. Yeah, he's got like a split down the middle.
He's got like a double curl happening there. So, but these are the type of things that now are making their way into conventions.
Yep.
There was a friend of mine, a buddy of mine, who was also an indie artist, had a table at a show. Only my own. There you go. Promote your own stuff. It's my sketch cards. Yeah, high-dye contraband, dog. So anyway, so he had he had a table at a show, and sitting right next to him was an artist who was selling contraband, and people were eating it up. It started, upon inspection, however, you started noticing the hands, and there was a question about whether or not that was AI art. And how do you feel about that, Sam? How do you feel about AI contraband at a show?
I think it's a cop-out. Unless the computer itself is sitting there selling its own work, it's a cop-out because you're not an artist, right? It's a fraud. You're a fraud. Basically, you're capitalizing on a system, and you're cheating the game. There's a guy on YouTube that's promoting 2 apps that create comic books. You tell them exactly what happens, and it'll spit out pages, panels, and everything. And I think that it's a cheap shot, but I think people will capitalize on it. People who are writers who don't have the money to get artists, they're going to capitalize on that, right? Mm-hmm. And but it's the consumer's choice whether or not you're going to support it or not. I just think as an artist, I'm and a writer, I believe in honing your own skills and your own talent. But if you're going to be doing AI, you should have a label on your table that says this is computer generated art. don't fraud the people. Don't try to lie to the people, because what happens is people will get pissed off if you lie to them and you pose it as your own work. Then they find that it isn't, right? And then now you got bigger problems. But if you're gonna do it, go all in, and but make sure people know. But it's not my cup of tea. I'll never support that kind of stuff. I'm a traditional artist. Look, I use computers for coloring, but I'm doing the coloring. The computer's not coloring for me. It's my strokes. I'm selecting the colors. I'm looking at the tones. I'm picking the swatches. I'm doing all that stuff. So I'm AI. All you're doing is putting in some keys, strokes, typing it in, and then is what you get. So
Yeah, I think, listen, I think there's a use for AI, right? I think sometimes if you say, for example, Sam wants to create a background, a world with weird things happening, and you just can't see it in your mind, and you decide to type it into that program, and it gives you this crazy looking world where you're like, oh wow, that's kind of cool. And then you go in there and redraw that world with your hands on the computer, and you do it that way. I think that there is a use for it. It's a tool.
It's the same
It's a
thing as
tool.
art of books, right? So I'm a collector of art of books, and why? Because I get inspired, and I look at how people approach foreshortening,
Yeah.
all
But that's
those
what I'm
things,
saying.
manuals.
You can use it as a tool. I think that's okay. It's when you, like you say, it's when you pass it off as, I did that. No, you didn't. You didn't do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And even original fully AI books at conventions. I agree, man. I agree. I agree. I mean, this person that I was telling you about, that was sitting next to the buddy of mine, came off like a bandit, bro. He was selling prints for $35, and people were eating them up. He left there with like thousands and thousands of dollars in his pocket with
Right, he's gaming
art.
the system.
Yeah,
It's the same thing
yeah.
that happened with Bitcoin. Look what happened with Bitcoin, right? And then what happened? One of the biggest frauds in the Bitcoin and that shut that half that stuff down, because that guy, I forgot his name, that committed all that fraud and everybody lost millions of dollars.
Yeah.
It can be used as a tool for reference. Yes, yes. So here's
Mhm.
when that whole phenomenon started, right? They started talking about AI art. I tested it, right? And so there's a scene in this Nailing in My Toilet where I was struggling to capture the vanishing point, right? And I was like struggling to capture the depth of the scene that I wanted. So I typed it in AI to see where it would be, because in my reference books I couldn't figure it out, and I was going outside with my camera trying to get that right angle, and I typed in and said, "Oh, just simple as that." So it was a square, right? Lines. And then I just went, and now I understood. So you can use it as a reference if you're stuck. That's what I look. The same thing I do with art of books. I go to YouTube channels. I look at other artists and how they approach pages. That's what art does, right? You use as reference, but ultimately you should be the one that's doing the illustration based on the inspiration.
Yeah, man. I know that. Okay, so let's see. It has its purpose, but it can be exploited negatively. That's why there needs to be boundaries set so artists feel they are not being ripped off by their art being utilized without permission. 100%. What about the NFT fraud? Yeah, I know,
Yeah.
right? What happened with that? I think if you turn it on, you're not allowed to say anyone else using it is wrong. I think if you turn it on, okay. What's up, guys? Yo, what up? Seabass, just my opinion. I hear you, Paulie G. I just think I think that, again, it should be a tool. It should not be the norm. I don't think that should just, because think about this, right? As a comic book collector or whatever, right? You go to these shows, for example, and somebody like David Finch is sitting at a table. Todd McFarlane is sitting at a table, right? And you collected a comic book that they were artists on, right? You go to their table and you want that signature because they worked on that. They did that. With an AI image, whose signature are you getting? You know, who you're going to the table? Who's signing that for you? Who's signing that for you? Seabass, I use AI art as a reference tool, not for original art. I use it to help with reference images that show I feel AI art should be used, similar to how we look up references. Yeah.
Yeah, same thing.
Like
So
Googling,
yeah.
an image or something. Yeah.
Look, whether anyone's allowed or not allowed, that's a matter of opinion. For me, is if you're gonna do it, you need to have a plaque on your table that says computer generated art, so people know that you're not the freaking artist. And that's my opinion, because a fraud is a fraud. If you're trying to lie to people and pass it off as your own stuff, you got problems. Is that like that one guy it was at a Comic-Con that was reprinting other people's work but claiming it as his own, right? Same thing. It's the same exact thing. So, for me, yes, I agree, Seabass. Use it as a point of reference. That's what I haven't touched it since when I did the episode on AI on the Crazy Antenna Less. Because I said, let me test it out, see what people are talking about, and I used it for a reference. But that was the first and last time I used it. I've never used it since, right? And because I've been honing my own craft, right? So, but again, there's going to be a lot of debate on this and there's a lot of opinions on it, but I really believe if you're going to use it and sell it, label it that this is how I create, this is how it was created. I typed in some codes on a computer and the computer generated this, you know.
I like that question. From they don't. So go back. I think there was one. Yeah, contraband is not the artist art either. Correct. In other words, if they're drawing it, yeah, they don't own the intellectual property. So you were talking about, we were talking about this with you, Sam. Remember the other day you were telling me about that. Who was it? It was Parker. Who was talking
Jay
about
Parker. Yeah.
Jay Parker. So yeah, tell us what he was saying on the podcast you were watching. He was saying something about because they were asking him why are people allowed to draw this art when they don't have,
So basically, so
right.
he was on live stream and they were talking about why are the big companies allowing artists at conventions to sell their renditions of mainstream characters. So where the line is if you're selling it online on your website. If you had a convention and you drew it and it was your art, the big studio is not going to shut you down because it's a form of advertising and marketing of their character. So they don't see any problem with that. But if you're doing mainstream and you're selling it online to the masses, that's when they'll probably interfere and try to send you a cease and desist. But at conventions, they're not going to give you a problem unless you're printing Jim Lee's work or you're printing somebody else's work and trying to sell it. But if it's your own art, if you call it fan art or whatever it is, they're not going to interfere. And so what you see, I mean, how many of you? I mean, I go to conventions all the time, and you see guys just doing mainstream characters. That's all they have. There's no sequential art, nothing else, but just prints. And they got big walls of prints of Iron Man, Captain America, all these whatever, right? And they sell, right? Yeah. So, look, if there's a way for people to make money, they're going to do it. What do you say? I worked at a convention with the vendor across from me was proud to say all art at their table was AI and they sold out. See, but they were being honest, right? This is why contracts are being negotiated with TV and film because it will become more and more prevalent. The rights of performers and writers need to be protected. Yep, I agree. Yeah, you got to be transparent. I agree. It's like those print monkeys that just stole images. Yeah, it should be banned from shows the way peds are in sports.
PDs.
Yeah. Also, don't put fan art on merchandise. Yep. Vex Comics. Hey, what's
up, Charles?
Oh man.
What up, dog?
Hey, there's the guy. Wait, he's doing those hovercrafts, right? What is it? The scooters. Confess, I had a special appearance in Deadpool issue number 4. Look at that. Wow.
All right. Yeah, no, a lot of interesting viewpoints. And listen, I don't think anybody's wrong. You know what I mean? It's your opinion. It is what it is.
Yeah, it's an opinion.
For me, I think I agree with say, for example, Anibal. They shouldn't be at shows. That shouldn't be allowed at shows. Yeah. Not an artist alley. You're not an artist. You should not be an artist alley. I'll tell you that much. If you're using AI art and you're just typing stuff into a program and it's printing it out for you, you're not an artist. You're not. You're a great writer. You describe things beautifully. You know what I mean? But you're not an artist, and you should not be an artist alley. That's what I think.
Yeah.
If you want to be transparent about the fact that you're selling AI art and people are still going to buy it, man, to each his own. It is what it is. I just don't think that they should be in the area because as hard as it is for us to sell our independent artwork, now we got to compete with machines too. Like we're not just competing with
exactly. So I mean, they should not be able to enter competitions.
No.
None of that stuff, right? Unless you have a category AI competition, then you can go in as many of those as you want, right? Correct. But anytime you try to alter a system, whether it, and you see it, we've seen it in society, right? There's been all this infiltration into gender and all that other stuff, whatever. You got to keep it pure. Keep AI where it belongs, protect the real artists, and that's what I say for artists out there. The ones who are at first, the ones who needed to be afraid were the concept artists, right? The ones that do all of those big, beautiful illustrations for film and all that stuff and gaming. But now they've been working aggressively to create the comic book apps, AI app,
Interesting, dude.
right?
I
So
don't
it's like
see
it's
that.
almost as same. It's almost as if they're really trying to. I mean, what was it? Who was it? I think it was Pepsi, or what was the company that just the AI created a new flavor, right? So it's like humans are trying to eliminate humans from making. It doesn't make sense.
It's like it's as if they never watched Terminator 2, bro. Like
Yes,
what are we doing, guys?
yes.
Comparable to steroids and sports
Yeah.
should not be allowed. Period. I agree.
Yeah, it's
agree.
I've never seen such a hard push to eliminate the common worker, the blue collar worker, the average Joe. And it's like this really big push to eliminate all of these things that make us great. Art and music is what makes just a human being a fascinating species, and we are the ones that are trying to just basically put ourselves out of business.
Bro, and I know we got to bring Brandon in, but I was watching Jim Lee the other day, just draw online, right? He was drawing, and I was talking to Neil about this. He was inking traditionally, just inking with a brush, and the mistakes that he was making, and the mistakes that he was making on the page made that image beautiful. And those mistakes can't happen on the computer. You can recreate a mistake on a computer and it'll still look perfect. But just like a mistake on a page makes that image special. And I think we're losing that with finding perfection. We're losing our humanity in a sense. Sounding all philosophical and stuff. But it's kind of sad, man. It's kind of sad.
And Tom McFarlane said that, right? Tom McFarlane said when he was doing portfolio reviews, one of the things that frustrates him when people try to make everything look too perfect. He goes, you have to draw.
That's what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yes. You have to draw in the most natural way for yourself, and it's those imperfections that make it beautiful, like you were saying, right? It's and I think that's what it is. AI is just taking the fun out of the comic book process. Yeah. Exactly. And so for me, it's like, you know what, you won't see any of the stuff on, I'll show my phone to anybody anytime. You won't see any of those apps on my phones because it's not worth it for me. I'd rather just get better as a creator and as an artist. And that's my thing. But again, if you're an AI guy and you're at a convention, let the people know that that's what you're doing. Don't lie. Machines have been
manufacturing, artists manufacturing it. It was only a matter of time. They just caught up. They just all caught up. But we got to catch up with? We got to catch up with Mr. Brandon Ingram. He's coming up right now, I think. Right, Sam? You going to bring him in?
I'm going to bring him in. Let's get him in here. What's up? Welcome back. Look at this.
Yes. All right.
This is AI-generated Brandon. Brandon isn't actually here.
That's fantastic.
This is what happens when you put Brandon into one of those AI things. Program? This is what pops out.
That's what happens. I love it. Brandon, listen, man, you've come a long way from the first time you were on our show. I remember Brandon, the first time he came on our show, he was very shy. He wasn't really too open about talking about this. And look at him now. He's cosplaying his own character.
That's because Brandon caught the craze. I'm just saying.
I didn't take my meds.
There you go.
So, where's Waldo? So Brandon, listen, we're going to talk a little bit. If you don't know who Brandon Ingram is, he is the creator of a comic book called The Gallows Man. And he brought that to our attention 2 years ago when he was working on his book. And now he's expanded. You've expanded now. You've expanded the world. And this is a character from that world. You have 6 fingers on each hand, too. This is a character from that world. Now, Tales from Town City is the new book that you're working on. But tell us a little bit about the character you're cosplaying right now, bro.
So, yeah, it just so happens that it worked out to where I finally made a character that cost me less than $40 to cosplay as. So, so the character I'm cosplaying as is a character named Hypno Ray. He's in Tales from Town City. Thanks, Sebastian. He's in Tales from Town City, and he's a part of one of the stories in that where it's 2 homeless villains trying to use expired coupons. And Hypno Ray is one of them.
I love it, dude. I read, and thank you so much for sending us the book. I read all 3 stories, dude, and I gotta tell you, man, they were funny. Bro, they were funny.
Thank you,
That story that you're talking about, the two homeless villains trying to buy food with expired coupons. It's hilarious, dude. Now, let me ask you this. I know that no, Ray, and they use their first initials, right? It's B. So
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
BI, I'm JM. That's SB, right? Because we're
Exactly.
buddies. But why did you come up with the idea to like basically take these characters who maybe are lesser known within the book and give them their own anthology? Because this is what it is. It's an anthology by you. All the stories are in this book are by you, but they are from characters from your world. So walk me through that through that thought process of doing it this way.
So I first got to mention Tales from Town City. Whenever I first it becoming a thing was a complete mistake. Like it started from a mistake is what I mean. Gallows Man #2, whenever I was making that, as we were going along, I added some extra pages to kind of help with pacing and stuff with that. And I didn't keep up with the pages by the end. And I print the printer I go through prints in page increments of 4. So like 4, 8, like 12, that sort of thing. And we got to the end, and with the Gallows Man, I like to have like behind the scenes stuff, like basically me just word vomiting on the page. People can see the behind the scenes of the stories and stuff. I only had one page to do that, and I knew I would be spouting a lot more than one page. So I was like, oh crap, I'll just have to add another 4-page increment. And I finished doing like a podcast ad in there, and I still had 2 pages to fill. There's still 2 pages that need to be filled. So I was like, well, I could write like a little 2-page story following Newsboy. And it was like a story where Newsboy has a dream, and it's funny, it's cute, and all that. And as I wrote that, I was like, dang, like I kind of want to write like more of these with like the minor characters within the Gallows Man universe, to where it basically led to me creating a list of like minor characters in the Gallows Man. I was like, oh, I'll make like a 40-page or a 48-page one shot of them. Right. Started writing some of these stories, and then I was like, crap, like this ain't going to be a one shot. Like there's too much here to where like it wound up being 3 issues in total, because it's all these characters I want to write about. So originally Tales from Town City started from basically a printing mistake I made, but there's a ton of fun just expanding this world.
It's really good. It's really well done, dude. It's really, really well done. You have the story of the 2 homeless villains, which is dope. So, you know, he's one of them. And then you also have a story about the what is it? He works in the morgue.
Oh yeah. The mortician. He's
the mortician.
Yeah. He's basically a mortician who is cremating villains' bodies, kind of like under the table type stuff that the city's having him do. He's not really questioning it. And all while he's cremating the bodies, this one's like one of the most meta stories. He's just commenting on the villains' names, where it's like, your name's the Frog, you're dressed as a frog. That makes sense. Right. And it just escalates to where it's like, you, on the other hand, I don't get it. Your name's the Jackal. You don't resemble a jackal at all. Like you're dressed as like a green mobster or something. Why aren't you called the Green Gangster? Like it's not a great name. It's better than the Jackal though. And he's just like going off on these villains all while cremating them, just losing his mind. Yeah,
it's really cool story. And then the third one is it's almost like it reminds me of Super Pets a little bit. From the point of view of the pet of the dog of the Gallows Man, right? It's his dog, basically. It's his pet, who also goes on his own adventure while he's at work. It was really, really well done, Brandon. I got to commend you, man, for putting these things together and expanding your world in a way where, like, you figure, I need to write a full like 24-page comic about this character. No, you wrote what, 8 pages of these characters, and that was enough, and that was more than enough. So. Yeah, I mean, listen, your Kickstarter is live right now. I think it ends tomorrow, right?
October 5th. So 2 days. Okay. A little less than 48 hours. Yeah.
Yeah. A little less than 48 hours. And you've already made your goal on it. And I think that there it is. You have 110 backers, bro. That's amazing, dude. That's amazing. 40 hours to go. You're at $2,311. And yeah, dude, it was this is actually a page from the last story there, from Tales from Town City, dude. But are you gonna continue to do these anthologies? Is that the plan?
Yeah, and like the Gallows Man will still come out because that's like a 4-issue miniseries. Like issues 3 and 4 will come out. But yeah, I plan to come out with issue 2 of Tales from Town City, as well as issue 3 eventually, and then it might be more than that. But currently, at least 3 issues, and each issue is following different set of characters within the Gallows Man, essentially.
Now, with Hypno Ray, what came first, the outfit or the character? Like, did you send this to your artist and say, "This is what he's going to look like," or did he draw it and say, "Oh, I can recreate that"?
It ultimately started with like minor villains that I just needed as a joke in the Gallows Man, because like Hypno Ray and Rusty Hook appear for like 1 page in Gallows Man #1. It's just 1 page, because like Gallows Man and Newsboy round the corner into Far Side Alley, which is like an alleyway full of homeless villains and stuff, and they're just commenting on some of the villains, and some of them were Hypno Ray and Rusty Hook. And like ever since then, they were just images essentially. They didn't talk at all. You just had Gallows Man and Newsboy talking about them. But ever since then, I was like, I want to do something with them eventually. Whether it's further stuff in the Gallows Man, which they do appear like in issue 3 of the Gallows Man, but I was thinking like I want to like, I don't know, expand on them more. Like just these homeless villains and villains in quotations, because it's really like, how bad are they? Like it's really just like a pathetic situation kind
really
of.
I'll tell you this though, Hypno Ray is a bad guy, bro. When you read about Rusty Hook's like origin story within those first 8 pages, the Hypno Ray is a bad guy, bro.
It was an accident.
I mean, listen, you guys got to read it. You guys got to read, because within those pages, Hypno Ray and Rusty Hook, they hang out, and you find out how Rusty Hook became who he became, which is basically a pirate, right? He's a pirate, you know, with the hook for a hand, with the what you call it? What else does he have?
Peg leg.
He's got the peg leg, right?
And he also has an eye patch, and he starts or ends a sentence with "arg."
Right. He's a pirate, but when you find out how he became that pirate, it's so subtly done. I was reading that, I'm like, damn, that's wrong, man. That is wrong. It's funny. It's freaking funny, but it's wrong, and that's what makes it so funny.
Just through the conversation and like the detail, rather than actually showing the gruesomeness of it, like you still pick up on like, oh, like that's messed up.
And that's what I liked about it. And I know the rule in writing is show don't tell, but in this case, it worked, right? It worked because it's within conversation, and it almost makes you want to see more. It makes you want to learn more about that character. So I highly recommend you guys checking out Tales from Town City, because you really have some really good stories, and it's hard to do what you are doing in such a little amount of time. Like the page count is what, 8 pages? Is it 8 pages? Am I right in saying that? Because I read it really quickly. It didn't even.
It's 32 pages, the whole comic, and the first story, this one, Tenfold Hypnotism, the homeless villains, is 12 pages. The Mortician one's 4 pages, and then the Fierce Pets one is 16 pages.
Yeah. And it's a quick read, man. Some of these, I mean, this is hilarious. Did you do the lettering in this, Brandon?
No, actually, Nikki Powers did the lettering. Like she's almost like my go-to letterer. Like I've worked with her on Dismay Avenue and various other stuff.
Yeah, no, very nice, very well done. I mean, this whole thing. There's the Mortician story that we were talking about right there coming up. Yeah, that's it right there, where he's burning the bodies of all these villains and stuff. It works, dude. And then you have different artists doing the art for every story. Now, normally that doesn't work for me, but here it worked because of, like, I guess it matched the story you were telling. So I like that. I like that a lot.
Thank you. Yeah, Juan Romero, he did like the 2 big stories. He did the 2 homeless villains and the Fierce Pet story. He did the art for those. which is most of the book. And then Helen Bolton, who's the main artist of The Gallows Man, I got her to do the 4-page Mortician story, kind of as like a nod to The Gallows Man. Like, yes, it's a spinoff of The Gallows Man, and you can read it all by itself, but just kind of like nodding back to like, oh, like that's the main artist of The Gallows Man.
You know what I liked about the pet story? They don't speak.
Yeah.
They don't speak. Like you'd figure that, okay, you know, typical story where the dog, as soon as the owner goes away, the dog all of a sudden speaks, and all of a sudden he communicates. They don't speak at all, and I think the beauty, and this is what comics should be, right? It's a visual medium. You're telling a story through sequential art, and you don't even need the words to know that these pets are communicating with each other. And I think that you did a really good job writing that, because it's not easy to do, man. It's not easy to keep an audience without any dialogue on the page other than bark, 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 meow, meow, meow. You know what I mean? Like that's all they're literally saying. Like that's what you're reading. It's bark, bark,
that's
bark.
The thing
meow,
is
meow,
like of the 3 stories, like for me personally as like a writer, like it was the most challenging to write, but it was also just the most fun because there's so much absurd stuff that happens in it. One with like literally, because whenever I was writing it, like the animal dialogue, I wrote out the dialogue and then just replaced each word with like the animal noise. So like there's something there, then it's now bark, 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 meow, 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 meow. And then like some of the other animals as it goes along, like there's not like popular animal noises for them. There's not a popular like walrus noise or a sugar glider noise to where I had to like look up that stuff and try to like make my own that sounded okay in a comic.
So wait, so was there actual dialogue then? You replaced actual dialogue with "Get out of here"? I would love to see what the actual dialogue was, dude. That should be like a stretch goal. Like if you get to a certain amount, you should be able to see what the actual dialogue was on those pages. That's freaking dope, man. Good stuff.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. Wow. So yeah, so 40 hours left, guys. If you're watching, check out Tales from Town City. The link should be in the show notes, and it should also be
in the chat as well.
Yeah, if you guys want to check that out, because this is dope, dude. This is dope. So the outfit cracks me up. Are you going to a Halloween party this year dressed up as Hypno Ray?
I might. I've been going to conventions. I've been to 2 conventions dressed as this, because it like ultimately it's one of those things where it's like, if you're a comic writer, like if you're able to dress as your own character, it's great. I think it's an ego thing within all of us. It's just one of those things. Because Gallows Man, like I'd love to dress as Gallows Man, but one, there's like some issues. He's got like noose around his neck. Plus, like a custom suit with that would cost hundreds, if not $1,000. Whereas like this is like pick up some stuff at a thrift store,
dude.
Get some Reynolds wrap, and then the most expensive thing was the spiral glasses, and that was like an order on Etsy for like $25. But no, it was one of those things where like I wrote the story and everything, and then was kind of thinking like, oh, like someone, I can't remember who, someone was talking about how like oh, like you should dress up as one of your characters or something. And then I started thinking about all the characters. I was like, almost all these I can't, because it's either inappropriate or it's just too expensive. But then I saw Hypno Ray. I was like, I feel like I can do this pretty cheap.
Hey, listen, if you have a buddy who's like bald or something, you know what I mean? Dress him up as speaking. What's his name? It's Rusty. What's his name?
Yeah, Rusty Hook.
Rusty Hook, bro. And you guys could just hit speaking conventions together. That would be fun to see, man. It would be fun to see. That's genius, dude. That's genius.
Thank you. Or I can just like just hypnotize them and get them to commit to the bit to where they gouge out the eye, cut off the hand, cut off the leg.
That's it.
Do all that stuff.
Yeah, man. What are you gonna say, Sam?
No, I said that's it. Just hypnotize, bro. That'll work.
Oh man, that is fun, dude. That is fun. I hope to see more of these characters. So Gallows Man, when is the next one coming out?
So issue 3, I hope that like we're like a little over 2/3 of the way done with it right now. I hope to have it out around January or February next year. Probably at the latest it'll be like May, something like that. But yeah, we're trying to have that out, as well as Dismay Avenue number 3 out, and if we're able to, Tales from Town City number 2 by the end of the next year. If not, then beginning of 2025.
I love it, dude. I love it. And again, just so the format for all of these anthologies is you're the writer for all the different stories, and then you bring in artists and they draw the stories that you're writing, which almost sounds like what people do when you're doing an album, like a music album. You like you write different songs and then you just sing them and you're putting them in one book. I think you're doing a great job with this stuff, bro. It's really working out. Are you doing any appearances, any other conventions? I know you mentioned you did some already. Are you planning any others before the end of the year?
The last one I'm going to do this year, I live in Northwest Florida. It'll be at Pensacon Halloween Fest. It's in Pensacola, Florida. I'll be there. It kind of works out because it's like a Halloween fest. I'll be dressed up, that sort of thing. But it'll be pretty good. It's going to be October 7th to 8th, so this weekend.
Okay. Oh yeah. Wow. It's coming out. Yeah, this weekend.
Literally, me saying it right now, I realized it's this weekend. So I got to pull all the stuff out of the closet to stack and all that.
You better hurry up, man. You better hurry up. It's coming. Nah, good stuff, dude. Good stuff. Listen, I hope to run into you at some point next year. Hopefully at a convention or something. Maybe hit something up in Florida.
I want to do the like the North conventions eventually, because like where I am. If you want to go to like the not entirely saying like a big convention, but a more comic focused convention, you gotta go to like South Florida, or you gotta go Northeast or out West. Yeah. And like it stinks where I am, but eventually I want to do some of those. I keep hearing stuff about Heroes Con. Yeah. I'm thinking about that. I don't know.
Is that North Carolina or South Carolina? It's in the Carolinas.
I think it's either North Carolina or South Carolina.
Yeah, it's one of those. Yeah, we did that one year. I think it was. We might have done it during like a bad weather or something. Like it was kind of dead, but you make the best of those things. You know what I'm saying? You make the best of. You haven't been to MegaCon? Is that the one that's in Orlando? I think, right?
I haven't yet. Yeah. I want to. I don't know, which I probably should have checked it instead of just take someone's word. Someone had told me like they're going on like a raffle system now because there's so much, but I'm not sure. That's just hearsay. But I need to check into that. That's one I want to check out. Like I like Sam was completely right about fan expos. I've heard him talk about fan expos before. He's completely right. I did Fan Expo New Orleans back in January. Ultimately, a really good time because I got to meet a lot of it was my first convention, so it was also like. Just I actually kind of like that my first one was a big one because then all the other ones, like the smaller ones, it's like, oh, like this is cake. Like I know what I'm doing. True. But like meeting like some of my like the Marvel guys or the big indie guys, like meeting them in Artist Alley, like that was awesome. Like inspirations of mine, as well as I did decent in sales and stuff. It was a really good time, but like. Yeah, sales compared to like the smaller conventions, it's like smaller conventions are so much better.
Yeah, sometimes conventions are great for the attendees, not so good for the vendors behind the table. Yeah.
Well, it was one of those things where like I thought about it like as the weekend went along, and it helped like ease my mind because it's not like, oh, what am I doing wrong? Essentially, it was more just like. I thought about, okay, cost you about $50 to get in the door as a person coming in, $50 to get in the door. And you're also going there for that big celebrity or those couple of big celebrities. Like you're wanting the autograph, you're wanting the picture. Nowadays, the big guys, like they had Sam Raimi there. They had Sean Austin there. They had Eddie from Stranger Things there. The big guys, it's like $100 for photo and autograph. So they're
at $150.
$150 plus they got to eat lunch. It's usually overpriced. That's $20-$30.
Right.
So it's like it stinks, but it does help me keep that reference of like, yeah, it makes sense because they like have basically blown their whole wallet by the end of the day to where it's like, I mean, if I was them, like after doing all that, like I'd shield my face as I walk by Artist Alley. Like,
yeah, man. Yeah. But you never know who's there just for you guys, for us, just for the people, just to, hey, what book am I going to pick up today? You never know who's there for that. And that's the chance you're taking, but it's okay because again, you got to go in there with the right state of mind. I think you're doing that now. So that's awesome, dude. Hey, keep doing it, man. Keep doing it. This looks to be working, dude. Were you dressed like this at the Fan Expo?
No, because at that
Okay.
time, I hadn't even found artists for like this comic yet. Because
Roger.
February is when I started hiring artists for the comic. So like I didn't even think of this as being an idea at that time.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it's one of those things where it worked out. It ultimately is like a little bit of a shtick that I've latched on to.
That's okay.
But it's one of those things. If you find a shtick that helps out in indie comics, it's okay to latch on to. I'm not going to milk it dry. I'm going to try not to do that. But I mean,
it's going to be great when people start dressing up like you. You know what I mean? Like when people just start dressing up like that, and you're seeing people walk around dressed up. That's going to be nice. That's going to be nice.
I was talking with Keith Gleason and Johnny C a couple weeks ago. They talked about how I could possibly have tinfoil hats and give them out essentially, because in the conventions, if someone's wearing it, people are going to notice, be like, "Where how'd you get that?"
Yeah, right.
And I was like,
that sounds like a Johnny C idea. That sounds like a Johnny C idea.
Johnny came up with that, and they
he's good with that
expanded
stuff,
on it essentially.
Yeah.
To wear like not this convention, but like future conventions, like in 2024, I'm going to do that. I was going to do it because I was at a convention a couple weeks ago. I was going to do it there. I brought Reynolds wrap with me and everything. But then as we were setting up the table, we're like, our tables are like butt to butt with like all the other tables that are there. There's not much room. Yeah. And I was just trying to think logistically. I'm like, how the heck am I going to like there's multiple things. It's like, one, am I going to reach across the table to wrap Reynolds wrap around the person's head? And two, is someone going to let me touch their head to wrap the Reynolds wrap around? So where it was ultimately at the end, I was like, I'm not doing this, but what I will do, I'll pre-make like a good bit of them at the house, like not on my head. People don't have to worry about oils and all that stuff. I'll put it on like a mannequin head. Right. But yeah, I'll do that in the future.
Yeah, no, that sounds like a good idea, dude. That sounds like a good idea, man. But yeah, dude. I don't know, Sam, you got anything for Brandon?
No, I'm going to give you the screen. I want to give you an elevator pitch and let everybody know why they should back your project now. So on 3, 2, 1, go for it.
Awesome. So I think you should back this project because I am monkeying myself around as Hypno Ray. But no, I do enjoy dressing as Hypno Ray. You have less than 2 days to do so. I should mention Tales from Town City #1. It's a spinoff of The Gallows Man. You can read Tales from Town City #1 by itself. But I do want to mention stuff with Gallows Man because tonally it fits in. Gallows Man is essentially Adam West Batman meets Inglourious Bastards. Like that is the Gallows Man. Set in the 1940s, he's beating up and killing Nazis, all while having like that fun jovialness of Adam West Batman, like we got him, chum, and like Newsboy being like, oh, gee willikers, Gallows Man, that was crazy, like that sort of stuff. So you have that with the Gallows Man. That tone carries over into Tales from Town City. This first issue, like George had talked about, there's 3 stories. The first one follows 2 homeless villains trying to use expired coupons. The second one, we had talked about it earlier. It's a mortician trying to make sense of dead villains' names, all while he's cremating them. And then the third story, Fierce Pets. And I should also mention PETS is an acronym. PETS stands for Precise Ecosystemic Tactical Squad. Kind of hearkening back to those Wildcats days, the covert action teams. And with Fierce Pets, it follows this super animal team that goes and slaughters animal poachers. And it's of the stories, it's the one that has like the most action, the most gruesomeness. Because when I say slaughter the animal poachers, like it's definitely a slaughter. So it's a lot of fun. I highly recommend checking it out. There's reward tiers that range from $1 to $70. Every bit helps. The book's completely done. The book is completely done. We've hit our funding goal to where if you back the Kickstarter, you're going to get the book. Like it's guaranteed. Digital copy for Tales from Town City is just $5. Gallows Man 1, 2, Tales from Town City #1, all digitally, all together is just $12. That's over 130 pages of comics right there. Physical copies for Tales from Town City start at $10. I really like the t-shirt. I ultimately made the t-shirt for myself, and I'm glad other people are wanting it as well. It's a Fierce Pets t-shirt. It has the Fierce Pets team on it, and also has the acronym below it. It's a lot of fun. And then there's a bunch of like physical bundles as you go up. There's also retailer bundles for really good value. Yeah, every little bit helps, as well as just sharing it out to people. That helps a lot.
Awesome
Outstanding.
stuff. Yes. Good job, Brandon. Thank you so much, dude, for coming on the show. I
Thank you.
thoroughly enjoyed the stories. I thoroughly recommend the stories. Yeah, man. Yeah, if you haven't done so yet, make sure you pledge to the campaign. It is over on October 5th, which is about 40 hours from this moment. So make sure you pledge to the campaign. Brandon,
Yes.
I can't wait to read more work from you, dude. You're a talented writer, dude. So much fun reading your stories. So yeah, and make sure that when you do come up with the next Gallows Man, you let us know, because I'd love to check that
For sure,
out.
man.
And
Thank
maybe
you.
we'll run into each other one day at a convention.
Yes,
Word,
I want
word.
that. I want that.
Yeah, for sure,
Absolutely.
dude.
All right, buddy. Thanks again for coming on the show. We wish you a lot of success. I mean, you already get the success, but keep it going, buddy.
Keep it going, baby.
Thank you, man.
You got it.
All
Peace.
right, Brandon. Peace, brother. All right.
So that was Brandon Ingram, the Gallows Man. Actually, Tales from Town City, Golden Age superhero dark comedy. Links in the chat, links in the summary. Go check it out, guys. It's there, bro.
Yeah.
You know, I like the creativeness. I like taking it to that next step and making it real, right? It's like I think that's that extra oomph to the project and what he's doing.
Yeah, no. I like the fact that he mentioned he found an artist, or he was, hiring artists in February, and by October the book is done. Like that's great. You know what I mean? That's commitment to his story. And the fact that he's got a main story. Gallows Man is the main story, but he's decided to kind of create these side characters, or he's created side characters and given them stories to kind of expand the world and expand the fan base. I think it's kind of brilliant. I love the fact that he's cosplaying his own character, dude. Like that's
awesome.
dope.
Yeah.
That's freaking dope, man.
I mean, who wouldn't want to do that, right?
Word.
It's like, I mean, I've been, I mean, it costs too much money, but one of these days I'm gonna make a duty costume, and my wife's only 4'11". She'll tell you she's 5 feet, but she's 4'11", and I want her to walk around with the duty gear.
Oh my god!
But yeah, I mean, it's like, who doesn't want to see their character come to life, right?
Absolutely, dude. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Why not, man? Why not?
Yeah,
but yeah, brother. So did we make the 25 today?
We didn't. Again, the goal was to get to 25 backers by the end of this show, and I would raffle off the 2 graphic tees to 2 of the backers, which are those graphic tees right there. The Samurai Duty is Duty and Alien Samurai. I thought we would get there. We didn't get there, but I want to remind everybody we have the 48-hour bundle. The campaign for book number 6 is on right now. We launched it last night, and there are 3 covers available. And the 48-hour bundle allows you to get all 3 covers plus 2 prints for pennies. You can also get yourself drawn into the book, so that's also an option where you can get yourself into the series. Only 3 slots available for that, I think, or I haven't even checked. And then everybody who pledges $20 or more are going to get the first 2 cards in a 9-card series of the Samurai Duty, which goes to the Samurai Story, which is launching next year. And this is the 48-hour bundle. The 3 covers plus 2 prints, Dude Pool and Dusuka. And then there's the homage to Back from Uranus cover. So there's a lot to unpack in this campaign, and the goal is really to get, I want to say thank you to the 19 people who came back. So 19 people of the 21 were actually repeat backers. And so I appreciate you. But I love this campaign to be the best one yet. I'd love to break 100. Duty has not broken 100 yet on Kickstarter. I love this campaign to be to do that. This is the last one for the year. This is probably the best in the series so far. You got Patrick, you got Brittany, you have Bobby, you have No Boo for You, Catching Ghosts of What We Do. You got Agent Doe, You got also the Emperor, which you saw him in the last couple of issues. You have General Goatee, um, um, and so you got a lot of different things coming in this series. It's a lot in the janitor, himself. If you were a if you grew up in my era, you saw One Day at a Time with Schneider. He was the janitor. That's basically the look that I went for when I created the janitor. But again, there's something for everybody. Even if you don't, if you're overseas, you can get the digital copies. You can get every back issue digitally. Add-ons, all the back issues are available as add-ons. So again, if you can share it out to friends and family, help make this one the best one yet. We launched yesterday. We got 28 days to go. And then hopefully we can get the word out. So I'm excited about this campaign. Really worked hard on this, and I hope that you are too. And for the 19 of you that came back, thank you.
Word, man, word. Yeah. So make sure if you haven't done so yet, and share the campaign. Once you pledge it, share it out. Get the word out.
Yeah.
Running campaigns is it's a 30-day ordeal, bro.
It's a full-time job.
Yeah, it really is. But yeah, no, I mean, the book. Oh, did you tell them about getting drawn into the book?
Yes, today you have an option of being a character in issue 6, and that's also a tier. You get the 2 covers, print plus yourself drawn into the book. Only 3 slots available. So that's also exciting too. Where all you have to do is once you pledge and the campaign is funded, you send me a photo, and I start working on it, and get you in there. So that's also cool as well. I threw that in as an incentive, and if we get to 100 backers, everybody gets a bookmark. And the first stretch goal was $2,000, and that one everybody will get the duty as print. And you're like, what the hell is the duty as print, Samuel? I'll show you right now. Right? I'll show you right now since you're acting up. So if we go down here real quick.
Give me that duty ass print, bro.
Yeah, I know, right? Where is it? So the duty as print. I don't know if you see me posted on social media. But this is duty as the Hulk, duty as Iron Man, duty as Captain America. That's if you go to Instagram, you go to hashtag duty as, you're gonna see duties, all these characters.
Guys. 1S. Stop being funny.
Yeah, stop acting up. And yes, so that print right there, if we get to $2,000, everybody gets that print, and it's legit, and that's pretty fantastic. And if we go even further than that, and this is aspirational thinking, this is me dreaming big. What's going on over there? Stop
the chat just running with the duty ass.
I know.
They're just running with it, bro.
So yeah, if we get to the ultimate, 5G level, then everybody will get the PDF of the directors behind the scenes, storyboards, thumbnails, character designs, and script for Duty Alien Samurai, the series that's coming out next fall. So there's something in here for everybody. The stretch goals are achievable. You got Duty as prints available. You got all the variant covers available. So this one was an easy one to put together.
Yeah.
But seriously, the Duty and Duty as say no.
Duty as duty.
And
we are children.
And it's funny. What's crazy is that when I was not employed and I was working from home, it was one of those things where I was getting a lot of requests. Can you draw Duty as? Can you draw Duty as? So I was
stop saying that. Just stop saying it. Why do you keep saying that?
Yes, so that's basically the campaign right there in a nutshell. Again, lots to offer. If you haven't read the book,
what size are the prints? I was just curious. What size are the prints?
The other prints are standard 8x8. 8x8. Okay. But that Duty as mega print is going to be vertical 11x17.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Is it? It's for the children. Remember, law. This one's for the children.
Duty ass, no, we're not getting. I don't want any duty ass.
Yeah. So if you haven't read the book, pick up the book. You can also get issue number 1. All the issues are there. You can get the graphic novel. The graphic novel is available on this. So volume 1 is available on this Kickstarter as well. So if you miss issue 5 and you got the first 4 issues, you can get caught up. So there's a lot there. It's issue 6. It's a milestone for an independent, right? So it's a big achievement. This is number 6 of 10. So it's a 10-part miniseries. It ends at 10, and then it'll pop off with the continuation of Duty's Monsters, and then Duty Alien Samurai, which will be the next ones. And but yeah, what's crazy is that I also have the Duty Christmas special that I've been redoing, that I did already, but I illustrated the whole thing, which is pretty dope because Duty goes up against, Frosty and the snowmen and Santa and the elves, and it's all wacky and crazy. Because he think,
Sounds like a Christmas special to me, bro.
intelligence tells him that Santa Claus is the leader of Earth, and he has to infiltrate his camp, and the elves are his army. So how Duty does. How does Sam keep a straight face? Because my boy, bro. You see Duty's face? He is not.
Stop putting that
He's
thing
not
up.
entertained.
He looks like he has not slept in like 3 months, bro. Stop putting him up again.
He's like-
he's scaring me.
Back
He's
my
got his middle finger
Kickstarter.
up. What is what is going on with that thing?
He's like,
Get him. ET phone home. I want to hear. I want to hear the voice that gentleman at the show gave him. That's what I want to hear.
oh yeah, that's gonna be on the art channel. Yeah. So the videos I'm still editing from the book signing, and at the LCS, and the one from College Station, and then I'm gonna have the one from this weekend too. So I'll have 3 videos to catch up on. I haven't been, because I've been traveling for work. But in about a week I'll be on vacation, so I'll be able to get caught up with a lot of that stuff. Yeah. So, but yeah, it was a fascinating show. Again, shout out.
Good job.
What do you say? What better to give for Christmas than a present
The president
of huge duty? That's right. Toma. Take it. But let's see that Duty as shake it like a salt shaker.
See that duty ass shit.
Duty's not twerking. Duty is not twerking. He's not twerking.
Oh, here we go.
He's not
Here.
twerking. He's not
Oh,
twerking. He's not twerking. That wasn't a twerk.
Oh my god. Let me do my shameless plugs real quick.
Oh,
and then,
man. Let me
and then you can go back to your twerking.
Let me mute his mic.
Next weekend, from the 12th through the 15th, I will be back at the New York Comic Con with my boy Johnny C. Johnny C and I will be at booth 2040. Come and check us out. I'm going to have Wonder Duck. I'm going to have the Catch the Crazies #1. I'm going to have some A$AP Imagination stuff. I'm going to have Prince. I'm going to have the spinning wheel. People are going to be able to win stuff. I'm going to have pills. It's going to be a blast. We're going to have a good time. So come to booth 2040 if you are at the show on the 12th through the 15th. Next week on the 9th, I will be debuting the Get Your Meds channel with the art of comic writing with Hades himself. He will be on the show. We're going to be talking about writing on that show, so check that out. I will also be putting out issues 1 through 4 are already out on the Any One World platforms. Check out Russ 5377 issues 1 through 4 on there. Issue number 5 comes out this month on the 18th. So check that out. That'll be there. Yeah, go to anyoneworld.com. And and actually at checkout, if you put in the code podcast, if you watched it on the show and you put in the code podcast, you get 15% off your purchase. So make sure you take advantage of that bad boy. So let's do that. And yeah, the big thing is next week, man, I'm going to be at the Comic-Con, and I'm really looking forward to that, dude. I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah, man. I mean, I don't think I'll ever be traveling for shows outside of Texas for a while.
It's big. I was thinking about that, dude. Like, even just packing for the show, bro, like, I'm trying to pack as little as I possibly can and still maximize so that I can make back the money that I paid for the table. And it's tough to do that. You know what I mean? And so imagine traveling somewhere and having to ship all this stuff out, how much that costs.
I did that to Puerto Rico, and I'm never doing that again.
Dude,
Puerto Rico, if I ever go back there, it's because you invited me and you took care of the bill. But I'm not spending the money. It was a lot of money, just the logistics of it and the shipping. That's where it costs the most. And then the hotel. you know. And then when you buy, like if I was there with somebody else, I would have stayed at a cheap motel further out in the island, and then I would have had a rental car.
Yeah.
But because I was by myself and I had all that stuff, I needed to be right at the convention center at the hotel right there, and that costs, right? And so that's why next year I'm staying in Texas. I'll do Austin. I'm gonna do Houston. I'm gonna I'm gonna do Waco.
Right.
I'm gonna stay in Dallas. But there's so much in Texas that I don't need to go out. Texas is its own country.
Oh, Texas has so much stuff going on.
Yeah, I don't need to. I don't move. And right now, I'm also working with schools right now to do demonstrations and speaking engagements. So I'm trying to book myself next year in Texas and build my brand out here, and then get it out that way. Because that's the only thing. If you don't do the hustle, if you don't put it out there, it's not going to happen. But I want to show everybody where I'm going to be. I got the floor map at the Arlington Comic Fest. So as you can see where it says lobby, and there's table number 34. Right when you turn from that lobby, you run right into me first. So I'm right there, which is pretty dope. The main entrance is I don't know if you see that, but the main entrance, you see where it says main entrance, and then if you go right here, I'm right here by the way it says main room, and table number 34, and then Paul Gomez is 41 right behind me back here. So that's pretty dope. So
that's what is that? What is the location? What is it, like a school or some shit? What is it?
I don't know.
It's got rooms, like it's got different rooms.
Yeah, it has I think it's like a school. Yeah, because it has music room, garden room. Yeah. And last time I was in the garden room at the Arlington Comic Fest. The last time I was in the garden room, and I didn't like that because in the garden room I was the only independent guy there. Everybody else was vendors. And so this time they got me in the main room. I think Lori Cockatero was in the main room last year, and so this time I'll be in the main room. That's where the action's at.
Yeah. It's hard. It's hard when they split conventions. It's great for the people going. Again, that's one of those things for the attendees. It's kind of cool to kind of like go into the different rooms. But for a vendor, dude, it's like because you're waiting and you're hoping somebody walks in.
Goes in there. That's what happened with us. I was like, no. So I put that in my notes this time for this year. It's like, please make sure that I'm in the pit. Lori's in the art room this year. Oh, they switched us.
She's in the art room.
I was like,
which is the art room? The art room is the one at the top.
The art room is where is that?
It's the one at the top.
Oh, that's a good room. I mean, it's right by the lobby. So yeah. I don't like being in the side rooms. I want to be where the action's at with all the other comic guys. Because you know what, consistency. I got lucky in Waco because I was with the vendors and I was the only comic guy and I killed it. But that's one in a million, right? You never know you're gonna have that same luck.
You never know, bro. You never know.
So
you gotta work.
Yeah, you better work.
You better work.
But so that was not, again, if you have a comment about AI, leave it in the comments below. I thought it was it's always been a hot button topic. It's always been a hot button topic, but I guess I say it's fraud. You're a fraud, you're fake, you're a phony.
Fraud.
That's it. So that's my point. I'll stand by it. But if you're gonna do it right. Let everybody know that's what you're doing. Thank you to our guest, Brandon Ingram. Thank you to everybody who joined in today. At one point, there was like 17 people.
Thank you.
Thank you all for joining us today. And we appreciate every single one of you. Don't forget, if you hit that like button, subscribe, recommend the show to a friend. And when you get a chance, go check out Designated My Toilet on Kickstarter. I appreciate your support. With that said, I'm Sam, the crazy man, Vera.
George, the Dreamer Medina.
And we are out. No, I was talking about my friend Acquiesce. Say my name, right?
This is what you were thinking? Oh, my.
He described me. He said, I'm the...
What? Catch the Craze. You're listening to Catch the Craze. You're listening to Catch the Craze. You are listening to Catch the Craze. This is Craze. You're listening to Catch the Craze.